Welcome to 54 Golf. I want to start off today's show with...
He is that even keel guy. Nothing's going to bother him. He plays well in the Ryder Cup.
The majors are always the best opportunity to answer that question.
As far as the pros, they should be able to hit that shot. We don't hit the ball as good as them.
You're right in the fact that he's an absolute superstar. He's just like running to a car to get a granola bar.
Hi, welcome to 54 Golf. Big news of the week were two rules controversies at the Internet Invitational hosted by Barstool, Bob Does Sports, Foreplay podcast. Obviously, we know unless you lived under a rock, Malosi with the slope on his rangefinder and Paige with improving her lie. And I promise I'll give you a chance, every one of you guys, to tell me if you think either or both are total cheaters and the worst people on earth. We'll definitely get to that. But I do want to start with first because I wonder if people actually have an opinion on slope in general. Like, do you think having the slope on, like, you're allowed to use your rangefinder in this event, but you're not allowed to use slope? How much of an advantage is having the slope turned on in an event like that?
It's a huge advantage.
So I just want to start with this. There's a reason you're not allowed to use it in tournaments, right? So we'll start with that right off the bat. There's a reason you're not supposed to use it in tournaments because it can help you, especially on a par 3 that's extremely elevated, right? Or approach to a green when you're down in like a valley and you're hitting up high. That's going to make a huge difference because you're talking 20, 25-yard difference potentially. But the average golfer on the average shot on the average course, it's not going to matter between 3 to 5 yards. It's just not going to matter. A guy like Brad Dahlke, Luke Kwan, those guys, it might matter to them. Where they want to land it, they can actually do the things they say they're going to do. The average golfer, I don't think it matters that much. With that group that was in the finals, if Dahlke got caught using it, I think it would mean more than if one of the other guys got caught using it. But do you want me to end there and answer the next question after?
Yeah, end there. Yeah, end there, and
okay.
we'll get to Malosi in a second.
So I think it matters if you're a better golfer. I don't think it matters as much if you're not as good a golfer. But either way, when you're playing for $1 million, it should be off.
Does anybody disagree that it should have been off the entire time?
Yeah, it should have been. If that's the rules, then that's the rules. My whole thought on it though is that if you're that good at golf, isn't that something you're already aware of?
Oh my God, the segues here are so good.
Right.
That's exactly where I wanted to go with this because this is the most dumbest
you know what you're
controversy
looking at. You know that there's an elevation change. You know there's going to be slope. You may not know exactly what it is, but if you've been playing golf enough till you get to the point where they are, you have a pretty good idea.
These are people who play golf every day.
Right. Your experience has told you, okay, like I played Dinsmore so many times. I don't know exactly what the slope is on some of those holes, but I do know.
But on hole 9 with that elevated green, you know you got to add an extra club.
Right, exactly. Like, was it 9, 8, 7, 6? That par 3 uphill.
Exactly. Yes.
And then on the back 9, there's a par 3 downhill. You know that there's a huge elevation change.
Right.
There's going to be adjustments that you made when, just like you said, Jay.
So
if you've played enough golf to get to that point, you already have a good idea what it is.
How many times have you played Dinsmore?
I would say probably 50 plus.
50 plus. So you probably could go to every hole and you're going to know what it is from that elevation because you played so many times. You're going to go to Beekman, Tonic, and go, that's a 6-iron, or that's a 5-iron, or that's a 7-iron. But if you've never been to the course before, you're not going to know it the same way.
That is a phallus argument, sir, because anybody that plays in any tournament for money goes and plays the course before the tournament starts.
Do not get off this point.
50 plus times.
Do not get off this point, though, because this is the most important point.
But they're pros.
And in some events,
relatively.
I want to add to that real quick.
Go ahead.
The difference between, and we're talking about millions of dollars, in this case, $1 million. We've watched, I'm pretty sure everybody's watched the TaylorMade feeds when they grab Rory or they grab Scotty or they grab Nelly and they say, hit this with your driver. Okay, we're talking about, of all clubs, the driver. And tell me how far you hit it. It's in the air. They say it's 308. It lands 307 or it lands 308.2. They are so precise with this thing. Like so when they have the advantage of having slope where they know to the actual yard, they're going to hit that target.
I agree with you.
If they miscalculate just slightly, they're going to be off by that.
I agree with you, but you're overlooking one thing. and it goes along with I've played the course before versus I've never played the course before. They practice at every single course, and every single practice round, their caddy is out there with their rangefinder with slope on, and they give them the exact number. They say, when we play from the left side of this fairway, the left side of the fairway is more elevated than the right. It's
right,
2 yards
try to
down.
Hit specific spots because they've worked.
They have it, but they
the
have
only
that
thing
information.
they factor in is conditions, wind, things like that.
They already have
into those stock numbers that they write down. Every time they pull the pamphlet out of the back pocket,
they
they
can do
look at
that
those
Monday,
numbers.
Tuesday, Wednesday. They can do that on those days.
And then they write it down. So I'm just saying, what's the difference if they write it down in their book on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or if they're standing on the fairway on Saturday? And
because they're not going to be in the exact same spot. If the fairway's sloped at an angle like this, and you're taking pin marks from here, and your ball is now here, not necessarily up top at the actual distance or yardage marker, it could be skewed by 4 or 5 yards, and that's the difference. So if you have slope on demand, it helps.
So where does it stop then? So then should they not be allowed to use rangefinders at all ever in an event?
No. I think you're getting off topic here. I think the question was for the Internet Invitational. I think if you're playing for $1 million, I know it makes sense with what you're saying because you're talking about people who play for millions of dollars on the PGA Tour. I get that, or whatever, in Live Golf, whatever.
Sure.
But I think in this one specific thing, when Dave said no slope is allowed to be used, that should have been it right there. No slope is being used. Again, I want to talk so much more on this.
I think I thought about it a different way of perspective-wise. I don't care if every single person on whatever golf event, as long as everybody gets to use it, sure, I don't care because everybody has the same advantage. Fair. And the same thing with the Invitational. If nobody's allowed to use it, nobody's allowed to use it. If everyone can use it, I'm perfectly fine with that.
And here's one thing we didn't factor in. People don't even understand how slope is factored. It's factored basically using a generic triangle freaking equation, and it's based on a 45-degree approach angle into that height. It's not. It does. So your trajectory changes the slope factor anyway. So if you're hitting a pitching wedge, it's not going to be a 40. It's not going to be the same angle into it as you would be hitting a 5-iron when your ball's coming in. The rangefinder doesn't know your trajectory on your shot, and so it's just giving you an estimate anyway. It's not giving you the precise for your trajectory. And so, I don't know, man. If you're going to allow them to use rangefinders, you're going to allow them to practice on the course and write down the numbers in their back pocket. I just think just let everybody use it. I don't
know if this was the debate or not, but I'm all for rangefinders for professional golf. It's just going to speed the pace of play.
Of course.
I don't really have a problem with rangefinders with slope.
So let's do. I'll start here. I wish that Malosi just admitted to having the slope on. Correct. Because he had every opportunity to admit that he had it on, and for whatever reason, for cheating, didn't know how to turn it off. Well, he obviously knew how to turn it off because he turned it off. But whatever reason it was, he could have just said, "Man, I messed up. I'm nervous. I'm playing for all this money. This is life changing," and it would have been dropped in 2 seconds.
He dug himself a deep hole, man, that he couldn't get out of.
When did he get caught with it, by the way?
Well, Micah actually called him out earlier on in their match.
Yeah, but how many rounds into it? I didn't get to see the whole thing. I watched the first.
I think it was it was 5 videos total. I think it was the fourth video, third or fourth video.
4 rounds, or
no, it'd be 2. It was only 3 days, so it was 6 rounds.
9 holes.
Okay, I don't know. That's just. So your question was.
Well, he denied it then too.
He did
37 yards, and Micah said it's 142. How are you 5 off? Do you have slope on? And he was like, no, you want to come check it? You want to come look at it? Well, how quick is it to not get caught on the camera to just do that? That's all it takes, to go back and forth. Some of them are different. Mine, you got to cycle through 3 times before you take the slope off. But some are just slide, and that's the slide on the one that he has.
I was going to say, I hope somebody has theirs here.
So I don't know if you can see that or not. So if slope's on, you see this red light.
And
if slope's off, no
light. Orange dot,
I think they should make all of them like that. Because
I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, that's a good.
Make it obvious. Yeah, make it obvious.
There.
Because on mine, you wouldn't be able to tell. It looks identical. It's just a scroll through button like Jay's. Yep. All I have to do is hold it down. Yeah.
And I think that's great. I think the having LED light on there showing it just allows you to do that.
Listen, in the Dutchess County Am, it only takes one straight shooter to go over to your cart, grab it, look at it, and you're disqualified from the tournament. So you got to be you just have to abide. But like you said, it's only for us. It's not going to matter.
Right.
A couple yards, maybe it would, but it's not going to matter that much. And again, like Chris said too, like you play the courses enough, you can kind of just figure it out. Okay, it's a little windy today. I know it's uphill. Let me add a club. You know,
I just feel like if everyone's playing for $1 million, everybody should be
right?
playing.
That's where we come back to. Like, it's a bunch of amateur golfers playing for $1 million. Just play by the rules. May the best people win.
Jay, I'll let
But
you
he got
rant
caught
now.
and he dug himself
I'll
deeper
let you
and
rant.
deeper.
I'll let you rant now, Jay. Go ahead. Give me.
I
your
really want to
Malosi.
rant. So I think Malosi did have it on. I know the whole world thinks that as well. I do think he did have it on. His mood changed, as we've all seen the videos, we've all seen the memes, we've all seen the TikToks and all this. It's pretty obvious. They bark down by the green saying Dave's going to check everything. He runs up the hill. You see the speed pick up. He gets up there. First thing he does, puts the club in, grabs his rangefinder. You see him look at it once, flick it, put it down by his side so nobody will touch it. And then he says, what do you do? Look, Bubby saw it. Bubby called him out. Bubby's a good guy. I mean, they're like brothers, right? Called him out on it. And after watching the footage, like everybody did that was there. They watched it on a laptop. They watched it on the actual GoPro. And they're like, dude, if he just held it and he looked at it and he put it down, it'd be one thing. But the fact that you see is that his thumb actually slide, I think he had it on. And then he just swim in it, never swim in it. And then Dave gave him one chance.
Took him off camera almost.
And I think what a different video it would have been. What a different reaction from people if they were on that green after denying it 3 times. He went on the green and said, listen to me, you're a good guy. I could tell you're a good guy. I tell you care. I tell you want to win. Even Dave said, like, I said on the first tee box or the first day before we even teed off, you honk your horns, yell in someone's backswing. I don't care. Just don't cheat. You know what I mean? Don't cheat. So his perspective of cheating and actually cheating, there's a very fine line. So he was just like, let everything go. But there was a couple things that he just didn't let slide, and Slope was one of them. Gave him the chance on the green, said, Malosi, hand to God. Now, Malosi's a religious guy. He says, hand to God, did you cheat? Did you use Slope? Hand to God, I didn't cheat. I didn't use Slope. That was his one chance. If he just said, you know what, I'm an idiot. Why am I going to sit here and lie? We're all playing for this, $1 million. If I got to be disqualified and those two got to go on their own, something like that to show that human, look, I messed up. And I used it. Or I didn't even know it was on. Even lie about that. I didn't know it was on, but it was on. When I got to the car, I checked and it was on. So maybe it was on when I was using it. People would still talk crap and be like, dude, you're an idiot and you knew you had it on. But at least they'd have a little bit more respect for him. The whole internet is after him, his family. Did you see the stuff they posted?
Oh, my God.
He wrote, please stop doing this to my girl, my mom. It's my mom's birthday, and you're saying that you raised a little, like, cheating bitch. Like, it's just all over him. They're going after the family and everything. It's bad, dude. Like, come on, what are we doing as a society? But,
no one should do that. No one should do that.
Hold on. What are we doing as a society? You literally make money. You're an internet golfer. You make money off of gremlins that watch you play golf on the internet. What did you fucking think was going to happen?
It's you. That's fine to attack you. You can't. You listen to me. I'm just saying. How ridiculous of a person in your mom's basement do you have to be to attack somebody's mother who has nothing to do with it?
Did you not just hear me? Did you not just hear me? He has a good rule about this. He does have a good rule. There are no wives, no moms. Like, we stay out of those things.
No wives, no kids, no moms. Okay.
Oh, I misunderstood what you said.
No. What I'm saying is they are gremlins.
The people
they don't have rules.
I understand what you're saying now. I thought you meant the YouTube golfers themselves are gremlins.
No. The people that watch them are gremlins.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, they don't care. They don't have rules.
Ran away and never had to deal with this in the first place. They could have provided rangefinders for everybody to use that don't have stuff.
Agreed.
I mean, I know they don't have to, but like, if you want to just keep everybody honest,
golf is a gentleman's game, right? That's what we say. It's a gentleman's game. You take what is said in the rule book and you're supposed to follow it. If you don't, you're disqualified. They make disqualifications for a reason. They make penalty strokes for a reason.
This isn't a professional group that you had.
It doesn't have
These are
to
a bunch of degenerates in John Gruden.
When you go out and play, do you not play by most of the rules when you go out and play? You want to get better. You want to take a drop when you're supposed to take a drop. You want to go back to the tee instead of drop on a white out of bounds marker rather than a red marker. Like, you want to do the right thing because we talk about this all the time. It only benefits you. It doesn't benefit anybody else.
And you put $1 million in front of a group of people. I guarantee people are going to kick their ball out of the way and give them.
But that's the problem here. Just you don't need all these extra gadgets and gizmos. You have your own. You can use it, but don't turn it on. If you do, there's your penalty. He should have got kicked out of the tournament. It's that simple. You don't have to babysit everybody. look, this is what you do, and if you don't, you're done. That's it.
We could talk about this all night. We got to get to the
course.
second half of this controversy.
I was half
Our,
asleep 10 minutes ago. Now I'm fired up. Come on. What else you got?
Our girl Paige, same
Girl,
team.
not mine. Don't ever say our girl. She ain't my girl.
Yeah, Jay
There's
was
some people, and
Damn.
she first of all called out Francis for never playing competitive golf, which is so weird. That's just such a weird thing to
Such
say
an
to somebody.
odd thing to do.
It's such a weird thing to say in this setting where this is like an add-on to competitive golf. It's not even competitive golf, right? Like there is competitive golf, and that's not what this was. Like it was
She talks
competitive.
about all the time how she couldn't handle professional golf. So it's like, what are you talking about?
Such a weird thing to say. And then like to just blatantly go over on a ball that's buried in, mid-calf high grass and just literally just stomp right in front of it after they find the ball. Like, it wasn't like she was looking for the ball.
Literally.
Yeah, it wasn't like she was just like looking for the ball. Like, see the ball.
Yeah, Malosi was behind it like this, like staring, like looking at it. Like they knew exactly what it was. Come on.
Oh,
and then she acts like she didn't know the ruling.
So weird.
Come on,
we're not going to be able to flight it out of here, so I'm going to press the grass down, and then when somebody calls me out on it, like the instant reaction is cry, and like say I didn't know, which is super weird. But I want to talk about that rule because we just talked about the slope and all that. So the rule is the loose impediment rule. Is basically what it comes down to. There's actually two rules kind of involved here. The loose impediment rule, which like the most famous egregious example of this is Tiger Woods moving the boulder out of the way.
I was going to bring that up because I didn't know this rule. And that's the only thing I can think of is that giant boulder that all those dudes moved.
Yeah, they moved a whole boulder so Tiger could hit a shot, and like that's within the rule. So I kind of like went in and looked like what a loose impediment was.
It's like a LeBron rule.
It's actually super interesting. Like if you have a dead animal in front of your ball, you can move it. If an animal takes a shit in front of your ball, you can like move the shit, the literal shit. But if an animal builds a mound or a nest or a web, and your ball happens to be behind it, you can also move that. Which is kind of where this starts to get like a little bit slippery. And then also in the ruling, like the exact words are also clumps of compacted soil come into play, which is I imagine that
I have a real question on this then. If you're taking practice swings through it, because you're allowed to take practice swings, just like a bunker rule, I don't know if people know, you can't take a practice swing in the bunker you're in. You can go into the next bunker to feel what the sand is. So you can take swings in the opposite bunker if it's a greenside bunker.
You can.
That I did not know.
You can.
That you could just walk into another bunker and test the sand pre-shot. I never heard of that.
Yeah, you can go in there and test out what the sand feels like.
That I learned new. But also, Aaron, to your point, you're telling me you can sit in there, because this is what often I believe you just said, you could sit into where they were with, like where Paige was, and swing your golf club through that. I thought that's you can't.
No, what I'm saying is if your practice swing improves your lie or path to the hole, that's against the rules. So like you can't go and take a practice swing and chop down a tree, right? Like you can't use your club to chop down a tree or break a branch off or something like that. But like if you accidentally during your practice swing like pull your club back and some leaves fall, it's kind of like a gray area. It's kind of weird.
But that's not like, proving your lie.
It's not true. But it might have been the leaves that you were going to hit. It might have been the leaves you were going to hit in your backswing. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like there's this weird area. And then when you start talking about like clumps of compacted soil, this got me so hard. Like, what if in front of that ball, like somebody had walked through and like their foot got stuck and now a mound built up in front of that? Like, technically in the rule, you can go over there, grab that mound and remove it. So it's like golf has all these like really weird rules. Like if there's snow in front of your ball, you can clear the snow out of the way, right? What's the difference between snow and grass? Like, I kind of get it.
This. If there's water on the putting green, are you allowed to move that water?
I was reading about
snow
the water.
Snow is water.
Snow is like an object that wasn't there before. The grass is part of the course. No, I'm talking about grass. He's saying what's the difference between grass and snow. Snow comes and goes. The grass is part of the course.
Right.
So if we're really digging into it, I guess if it's rooted into the ground, like,
and that's the difference between loose and permanent or grounded impediments is basically what they go for. But then you start to go to like another rule that kind of fits into this, which is the rule for fairly taking a stance. So like if your ball is up underneath a bush and the only way, or like just barely underneath it, and the only way for you to get in there is to like use your back to back your way into the bush so that you can have a stance to hit the ball. You're allowed to do that. Now you can't like take the branches and bend them or have someone hold them for you. Like you can't do any of that. But if you go in there to take a stance, and your stance fairly is the word that they use, fairly happens to be where your back is up against the bush so you can hit the ball, you're allowed to do that. So, like, I'm not saying that for 100% in this scenario, but, like, what if Paige or Malosi went over there and was trying to determine which way they wanted to stand to take a shot? Because that was on, like, the side of a hill. They could have played it down the other fairway. They end up playing it to the right, to the correct green because you just pushed the grass down. Like, what if their first look was like, all right, the clearest way out is, like, diagonal right. And then they stand over the ball and the grass gets pressed down and they like, I'm not really looking at that.
But that's not what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's not
and
what
I
happened.
mean, that's the
She
same
was
thing they do
on-
with sprinkler heads. They use that
she
to their
was
advantage.
giving
They're
that
like,
grass
I'm gonna hit the ball
CPR.
this way.
Go ahead, Austin.
I feel like they do the same thing with sprinkler heads. They'll be like, oh, the sprinkler head's close. Like, this is how I'm going to approach hitting my ball. I'm going to use the sprinkler head. Now I get 2 clubs relief. I'm going to move
Now I'm not
here.
hitting that way. Yeah,
Exactly. Now I'm not heading that way anywhere because I got a great lie over here. So I feel like they totally. I forgot what round it was. I forgot who it was. They found a sprinkler head in the middle of the wherever they were like 2 years ago at like the Scottish Open or something like that, and it like completely changed the trajectory of the round. He lost his ball in the woods. He happened to be right on a sprinkler head, and like, oh, there's a sprinkler head. I need relief, free relief, and like he gets a perfect lie for it.
they do this with temporary movable objects all the time. TIO relief all the time. There's like a porta potty that's in the middle of the woods, and even though they're going to punch out directly right, they see the porta potty in their line between them and the hole, and they're like, I can't hit it. Now I get to go two club lengths for free. And they move it. And now they can bend the ball around the tree right in front of them. And
isn't there a grandstand rule too? If you hit it in a grandstand,
yes. TIO, yeah, the temporary movable object. Every social media blows up whenever somebody takes TIO. It's always an argument because
that was a big Rory thing. I remember.
But like, yeah, she didn't do that. She literally with her hands pressed down the grass so that her teammate could do it, which is a big difference. Like if a random person had done that, the grass could have stayed down. But since they were playing on a team,
if a patron happened to be doing it,
right? If like a patron
sounds
came
like
over,
it's still illegal because what if you just paid that patron to do it?
It's not a penalty on you though. Like if a patron walks over to your ball, as long as your ball doesn't move, and that was kind of what she was trying to say. She's like, well, I thought if my ball didn't move, it was going to be okay. But she was wrong. I mean, she knew the rule. I mean, does anyone think she didn't know the rule? Jay, do you think she didn't know the rule?
No, it's stupid.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know the full rule of that. Like, I totally moved fast around just to like try to get a shot on a ball before. So I'm a cheater.
I was gonna say people have. I mean, we've probably all broken that rule before.
You weren't playing for $1 million.
I was not. No, I actually.
And you didn't say to somebody, "Well, shows you haven't played competitive golf."
Pretty sure I had the ball in the water anyway.
A bad look. This is going really long, but I really wanted to say this though. The Internet Invitational was they had more viewers than the Ryder Cup, which is awesome.
That's insane. I didn't know that. Is that real? Is that a real number?
Yeah, it's real. They had real numbers. Yeah, real numbers.
That's mind blowing.
Outperformed the Ryder Cup, which is
that doesn't surprise
wild
me at all.
Which is wild. Yeah, I mean, well, like Jerome has mentioned in the past before, it's on demand. So like the Ryder Cup is dealing with people got to sit down and watch it at that time.
No, but the only reason why it surprised me is I feel like, and I could be completely wrong, I feel like a lot of the YouTube golfers might be US based. So I thought it might be more of a US following, where I feel like the Ryder Cup is also all of Europe.
The world.
So you got Rick Shields, you got Peter Finch, you got
Peter
That's
Finch.
the only one that I really thought of, Rick Shields.
Yeah.
But like I just didn't think it was gonna be that close.
Luke Kwan got all of Asia. Like there's.
Are we gonna bring up the Luke Kwan
South Africa
as well? Is that part of this?
No, I don't think we're gonna. I don't think we have time for Luke Kwan. But like, I want to ask you this. I want to ask you this like real true question here. If you're like the 160th best golfer in the world, like, would you rather get invited to play at the Barracuda Championship in Bermuda this week, or would you rather get invited to play for Dave at the Internet Invitational in 2026? What's
you have a lot more eyes on you to the Internet Invitational. More people are going to know you quicker, and you got a chance to probably win more money than you would at the Barracuda, being the 160th. If you're the 160th best golfer in the world, you got a real good chance of being in the top 3 in the Internet Invitational, and like I said, you'll get a lot more notoriety. You'd be crazy to go to the Barracuda.
It's a weird thing. Professional golf is like they're meeting. Like we all thought, like Liv was going to blow this whole thing up. I mean, at least some of us did. Jay was on this YouTube thing a long time ago. Like they have really pressed even Liv.
Just found out how to do it, man. And get eyes.
Yeah. But like I'm saying, like
that was like a movie.
It was a movie. I mean,
it was a movie. Yeah, it was like a 5-part movie.
But like these marginal. I mean, not marginal. These absolutely great professional golfers who are just not the best in the world. I'll ask Jay this. Are we going to see like YouTube becomes them?
YouTube becomes what?
Becomes those guys, like those guys that like you kind of know, you've seen once or twice on a PGA event, or they got relegated from Live. Andy Ogletree, whatever. Like,
would you not watch Joel Damon go around and like
I absolutely
play
love
somebody, like play Grant in YouTube, and then go out to the bar and drink and eat dinner? Like, I would watch that whole thing.
Qualified for the U.S. Open that
There's
way.
certain people that are not necessarily top 100 names that could easily be household name going onto YouTube. It's just
I
that
do think
popular
you have
right
to
now.
have a
It's that hot.
personality as well, though. You can't be
there's
like a
something to what Austin's
boring.
saying.
You have to have that personality for it. Like, you can't just be some boring guy. Like,
You can change your whole the perspective that people see, like the image people. Bryson is the perfect example on that, right? So many
He's
people
super
didn't
funny.
understand
I
him;
watch
they
all of
thought he
his
was
stuff.
weird, and look at him now. I mean, everybody loves him for his personality. He's able to shine through YouTube and
No, but I
show
think
that
that's his
personality.
genuine.
So, dude, you are like, yeah.
There's better examples, but there's better examples than Bryson. Luke Kwan's a great example. Brad Dahlke's a great example. Wesley Bryan is an amazing example of this. Like, the guy was a pretty good. I mean, a pretty good professional golfer, and like he got more popular when he got suspended from the PGA
No,
Tour.
even before
He
that,
played
though,
more
like
YouTube golf.
the only reason people know who Wesley Bryan is because the Bryan Bros channel has been around for years. Just now he's getting big over the last 3 or so, but he's been huge since Bryan Bros started. Not many people knew him from PGA golf, but
I didn't even know him
from
through PGA.
He got a PGA win, so he's not winless. But anyway, I just think like we can talk about this on a whole nother episode, but I really do think like those guys, because PGA went down, they cut their cards from 125 to 100 this year. Guys, 101 to 125 should be like, I'm ready to play in an Internet Invitational. Like, Brad Dahlke is like, I mean, yeah, people know the good guys, but he was probably the least famous good guy coming into this event. And now everyone in the world is like, get Dahlke on the PGA Tour, get Dahlke on Live. Like, it's Luke Kwan. Like, everyone wants to see what Luke Kwan's going to do next because he didn't make his tee time. YouTube has something. They have something that I didn't see Francis quote. What
I mean, his tweet. He said that he had no idea. Francis, the one that won with Dahlke, he said he had no idea that Brad was a 3-year sober recovering alcoholic, and he wrote, and he was like, I'm sitting there on the greens showering him with champagne, had no idea he was a recovering alcoholic. He's like, all Brad did for me was play amazing golf and win me money, and I'm over here disrespecting him by shooting champagne, tempting him to drink, and I had no idea. And yeah, it's just funny. And then Brad wrote, or Dahlke wrote back, and
it was the best golf event of the year for me. I'm talking about, you can include the majors in there. It was the best golf.
Me too. I mean, I've always been great. Yeah, 100%.
It was definitely.
It was so entertaining, so entertaining.
Austin has a totally different opinion on this, and I want to hear his opinion before we get.
I don't have an opinion on it. It's just to be fair, I only watched 2 of the events. I watched the first one. I watched the last one.
Oh, good Lord.
So I'm sorry. I don't do as much of the YouTube stuff that you did.
It's not even that. It was so the Duke. How entertaining was the Duke?
I was actually very impressed. Hated his personality, the DOD King. Guy played with some good golf the first.
See, I've been watching him for so long. He's an arrogant prick, but he's fun to put all those different type of people together. It made it fun
for sure.
Yes, I thought watching all of that was very fun. I thought that was very good. Do I think it's better than all of the majors and everything like that? I don't know. I'm not going to go that far. I like the stress levels a little bit more on that side of things on the majors.
Frankie Borelli hit the blade of his life for $1 million.
Nothing more stressful. I was watching that and I've listened to Four Play Golf for a long time, and they always talk about him with getting the yips and stuff like that. And I was like, Amy, watch this. This dude is going to blade this across the green. And it's really sad to watch that it actually happened that way. Like, it would have been great if he went past it, but no, dude bladed it when all of the pressure came down to it.
The
Like,
only
you could've
person that
just
was
grabbed
thrilled was Dave
putter
Portnoy.
from where you were. You could have bumped and run. You could have done anything. But you're like, no, let me take a wedge and try to stick this when I know I can't do that.
God, I don't know why he tried that shot. I agree with you. He's gonna have to answer for that forever.
And like, what are the odds that he has to be the one to hit that shot? Like,
Yep.
Just fate, I guess.
And rest in peace, Beef. I hope they paid off his parents' house.
Me too.
Because that sucks. Everybody said he
that
was a great guy. I wish I got to meet him.
Yeah, I watched a little tribute of him. I thought it was really cool. Lived a short but good life.
Yeah, for sure. Seemed like a really nice guy. But, okay, before we get out of here, I just want to let everybody know that 54 Golf will be represented at the PGA trade show in Orlando in January. And so check your emails and your DMs because definitely going to link up with brands and things like that. So keep an eye out for us. We got some stuff for you.
We got some stuff.
This was way longer than I thought it was going to go. I didn't think we were going to talk about sloping.
We could still go for another hour.
Yeah.
You could just
I know.
say one more thing, and Jay's
sure
going to nonstop. Short story, even long.
Let's wrap it up.
Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, hit the bell in the corner so you know when we're posting. Check us out on our socials. Comment below what your thoughts are on slope and improving your lie and everything like that. Thank you so much for listening. Aaron?
Let's get the fuck out of here.